Hi guys, it's Chloe and welcome back to my channel. But today I'm going to be talking about how I obtained my smart drive from Permobile, not sponsored. And I'm going to be talking about why I chose what I did and just kind of what it led up to the decisions and the whole insurance process, all that jazz. And I'm super excited to get into this video. And on that note, we're going to get started. So for starters, if you've been living under a rock and have no idea what I'm talking about, or just want to see the Power Assist live in action before you see this video, there's a little eye in the corner. You can click that and it'll take you to the video. So now we're really going to get started. So what is a Power Assist? So a Power Assist basically is a motor that attaches to the back of your wheelchair. It's a fifth wheel that you control the speed of, and it allows you to get up hills. Now, why did I choose a wheelchair with a Power Assist versus a power wheelchair? So the thing is with a power wheelchair is you're not able to push yourself with the power wheelchair. There's a joystick that you have to use. And those things are wickedly heavy to the point where you would need a wheelchair ramp to get it into your car. And those don't really break down as easy. Whereas a manual wheelchair with a power assist allows you to push your own wheelchair and give you some assistance when you need it. And the thing is that I'm young, I can still push myself, and I'm not in my wheelchair 24/7. I'm an ambulatory wheelchair user, which means that I only use it as needed. So if you want me to do a more heavier definition on an ambulatory wheelchair user, feel free to drop that in the comments and I'll try to do a video on that too. But basically, I love the feeling of being able to push myself. So I wanted to be able to do that too. And a lot of people with power wheelchairs are in their wheelchairs all the time, or they have the inability to push themselves for whatever reason. And another reason why I wanted to get a Power Assist too is because I struggled with hills. And then also, another thing is that if you push your wheelchair for too long, you'll end up tearing your rotator cuff and need rotator cuff surgery. But the thing is that a lot of my friends with spina bifida, they don't get done the rotator cuff surgery because then they won't be able to push themselves because they have to not use their shoulder for a period of time. And I just want to prevent that before it even starts. So I'm taking preventative measures so that I don't have to get done another surgery. So basically what ended up happening was I was looking into a couple of different power assist companies because there are some out there, but one was the Smooth and then the other one was the Permobile Smart Drive. Again, not sponsored. And back then, I just had a standard off-the-shelf manual foldable wheelchair. I did not have my current wheelchair, which if you want to know more about my current wheelchair, there's a little eye in the corner and you could click that and it'll take you straight to the video. I was speaking to the representative for Smooth. The representative said I needed to go custom first before they would even consider giving me a Smooth, and gave me a list of places. They were basically hospitals that had wheelchair clinics. I'm assuming they all offered the Smooth because he recommended them. But anyways, I ended up looking at those, and then I also did my own digging, and I ended up settling on not sponsored New Motion. And basically, I ended up getting a Permobile Tilite X. So it only made sense that I went with the Permobile Smart Drive, especially because that's all they sell. I don't think they carry the smooth. You can correct me if I'm wrong if they do, but I didn't see it when I went to go pick things out. But that leads me to what happened next. So you can either buy the smart drive directly from the vendor itself, their website, or if you want to get it through insurance, you have to go through a seating and mobility clinic, because they have to have their assistive technology person come out, assess you, all the 9 yards. And when we were first designing my wheelchair, I had expressed interest in wanting a power assist. And when I was building my wheelchair, like before built the wheelchair with my assistive technology person, I honed in on exactly what I wanted, and I was not going to stop until I got what I wanted. And I spoke to them and said I wanted the power assist. And my assistive technology person said that I either needed to have shoulder problems, regardless if they were related to the wheelchair or not, or I needed to have my wheelchair for a year in order for health insurance to cover it. And I do have shoulder problems from a bullying incident that happened my first grade year. And if you want to know more about that, comment down below and I'll do a video on it if I get enough comments. And also, I told her my health insurance is phenomenal and they'll cover it. And my assistive technology person, now, she said this, and just as an FYI, because some people are going to think this way, but she is not gaslighting me at all. She's just coming from working with health insurance for so long standpoint. But I have Medicaid and I have Anthem. Both of them, would consider my shoulder problems to be not that bad and therefore wouldn't cover it. She said at this point, it's best that we just wait a year. I'm like, okay, fine. And then what ends up happening is my assistive technology person will take her notes back, write out like an itemized receipt with quotes from the actual wheelchair company, not the seating and mobility clinic, but the actual wheelchair company. And she'll send it off to them, both of my insurances, in order for them to prior authorize it. And my health insurance will either then approve of it or deny it. And with both of my insurances, the item has to be medically necessary. And once it's deemed medically necessary, then Medicaid will cover it. And then with Anthem, they have to take it a step further. And if it's seen as a luxury item, they will not cover it. So what is a luxury item? Glad you asked. So a luxury item is something that is not deemed medically necessary, but you still want it. So short and short, if you can't justify it on the letter for prior authorization for health insurance, then it's not going to be covered. If they like to not cover luxury items, that is. And during this time, I had forgotten that we never applied for the power assist. So when I went to go pick up my wheelchair, there was no power assist. I said, there's no power assist. And she goes, yeah, we didn't apply for one. Remember, we had agreed to wait a year. I'm like, yeah, but I still want it. I said, my health insurance is really good and they'll cover it. And she goes, are you sure you want to go through with this? You're going to get denied. And I said, no, I'm not. My health insurance is really good and they're going to cover it. And she's like, okay. So we had to go through the whole thing all over again, like we did with my wheelchair. And again, there will be a little eye in the corner and you can click that and it'll take you to the video on going through the whole process. But I had to have my assistive technology person pop in on a meeting with my physical therapist, and we had to talk about it and go through like the whole like writing out a letter, a medical necessity, just stuff like that. And one of the things you can add in order for health insurance to cover it is you have to think about the most drastic thing that can happen to you. And the most drastic thing that'll happen to me is, again, my rotator cuff's going to tear and I'm going to need rotator cuff surgery. And that's going to cost them more money by having to pay for a surgery, a hospital stay, room and board, any lab work, pre-op stuff, imaging, the whole 9 yards. And we also had to talk about it being used in the home in order for them to cover it as well. Then I found out a couple weeks later, I got my letter first from Medicaid, and Medicaid ended up covering it. And then I found out a couple of days after that that Anthem ended up covering it as well. And I will say this, so if one of your insurances doesn't cover it, then you can appeal. And in some cases, you may be able to write a letter to the insurance that did cover it and say that the other one doesn't want to cover it. After that, my new motion, the people I've been working with, they had to order the power assist, and there was no assembly required because with my wheelchair, you had to assemble everything. But since the power assist was literally just a power assist, you didn't need to do that. And then once the power assist was en route, I got a call from New Motion, and we set up a day and time for my power assist to be delivered and for me to get training. And then they came to my house and we did, some training on it. And I will say, so with New Motion, they come to you. And I know with like hospitals and some other seating and mobility clinics, you have to go to them. But here, they come to you, which is great. And I know that I had said in my wheelchair video that I wanted to like go out there and get my wheelchair at their location because they couldn't get anyone to come out here and deliver it. But with the power assist, I live in a quiet cul-de-sac that has a lot of hills. Whereas with New Motion, like my local branch, they were in like a strip mall type of office ordeal thing. And there's a lot of traffic as far as cars and stuff. And I was afraid we weren't going to be able to get as much practice in. And that's it. If you have any other questions on my Smart Drive, feel free to yeet them down below and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can or make another video on it. I thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I cannot wait to see you guys again soon. Bye!